All right, we're live. I'm so sorry that I am late. I am 8 minutes late. I planned to be live at 8 o'clock on the dot, but things did not go according to plan. Some technical difficulties. My computer was not wanting to cooperate since it's one of the first times that I've used it since I've been back today after getting home last night from Walt Disney World. So here we are. I figured that since I've received so many messages from you guys, so many of which I still have to get to, I've been trying to respond to as many as possible, especially over the last 24 hours, but I still have quite a ways to go. So if I have not responded to your message yet, I apologize. I promise that I am getting there. So many messages that I've received have to do with something that I shared about in our stories yesterday regarding Ohana, and it was something else. So I will get to the story in a bit, but for now I will leave it as it was probably the worst service that I've ever had at Walt Disney World. So it was crazy. So I see we have a whole bunch of people on already. Come say hello. Let me know if you're here. Ask me your questions. We'll get things going. So initially, I see Jeffrey is here. I see my Uncle Rock is here. I see Karen is here and Joe. So let's get the show on the road. Let me also add, hang on just a second. Let me add this down to the bottom. Okay, cool. So if anyone joins while we're talking, we can let them know. You can ask me any of your questions. So I see Marissa's here and Lee, Deborah, Craig. Hey guys, you are the best. We have so much to talk about tonight. I don't even know where to begin. I mean, so much happened. First of all, let me start by saying we had a fantastic time. It was such a great trip. If you didn't happen to see over the last few days, just to talk about the resorts that I stayed at first, we were at the Beach Club for a night, Boardwalk for 2 nights, and then the Polynesian for 1 night on the day that it reopened. So I think the Polynesian might be a good place to start. Oh, Joe, you know it. So if you guys haven't heard of Debating Disney before, that is a show that I do here on Facebook with Kat Wolf of Get Down to Disney. We have a segment of our Debating Disney show where Kat holds the dust list, I hold the dist, which is basically Kat talks about all positive things, dust as in pixie dust, and I talk about what happens when things might need to get real, and we have to, analyze some certain situations that could be better and use them as learning experiences because things can always go wrong, and there's always a good positive side of talking about things that can happen when things aren't perfect because that's just the way it can be sometimes. Hey, Lisa, so good to see your name pop up over here. So first, let's talk about the Polynesian reopening. So let me start by thanking all of you guys for all of your amazing likes, comments, shares, messages, clicks, you name it, when it came to the content that I was sharing the morning of the Polynesian reopening, because just one fun little number to share with you guys, on Facebook alone, those photos that I shared of all of the great aspects of the new rooms reached over 100,000 people. So over 100,000 people got to see those pictures because all of you guys were there to talk about it and ask us questions and messages and do clicks and all sorts of great stuff. So that was just so amazing. I was so happy to see that we were able to get to that many people because that was such a important step, in my opinion, in moving forward towards our continuous return to normalcy at Walt Disney World. So the Polynesian is such a big component of that. So having it back and, dare I say, in terms of rooms, back and better than ever, that was just so exciting to see unfold throughout the day. So I see we also have Shannon in the house. Shannon is the owner of Destinations to Travel, our official travel agency partner, And if you want to go ahead and book your next stay in any of the resorts that I stayed at and was sharing, or any other resort for that matter, go ahead and you can visit them anywhere on our website. You'll find a Destinations to Travel page, the button on our Facebook page. I made a joke during our Polynesian live stream. You can basically go anywhere on our social platforms or website, and you will find Destinations to Travel. So they're not very hard to find. So definitely go ahead and reach out to them whenever you do want to make that next trip happen. I see my Nan is here. Hey, Nan. Okay, so, oh, Mary Catherine, thank you so much. That was such a fun, live stream. It was so amazing to be doing that super early in the day. I mean, to be checking into your room at, what did we get in there by, like maybe 10 a.m., if not even earlier, was unbelievable. Because when it was earlier than 10, I want to say, because when does that happen? Check-ins at 3, 4 if it's DVC. So to be in that early was awesome. Hey, Helen, how's it going? All right, so back to the Polynesian reopening. Rooms, spectacular. I cannot even speak highly enough about how amazing those new rooms are. And Marissa has a great question. So let's talk about this. So I'm going to say, in terms of the rooms, then we'll go resorts as a whole, one by one. I'm going to say rooms, I mean, out of Beach Club, Boardwalk, Polynesian, I say Polynesian hands down. And not just because they're brand new and it's something different. They are that great. They are so comfortable. They are so convenient. Everything is just situated perfectly. The artwork, everything, the beds were amazing. The pull-out couch was so cool. And the chair that was next to the bed closest to the sliding glass doors was amazing. Just everything in the room was spectacular. There was one thing that I found that I thought was odd about the room, which is something different from what we had in the Beach Club and Boardwalk, is that there was no silverware, like just plastic forks, knives, spoons in the room, which, I mean, we ended up getting something DoorDash late at night after we were hanging out at the Tamboo Lounge on our night there, which was Kara's birthday. So when we had that food delivered and then we brought it up to our room, which, by the way, if it's late at night and you're kind of out and you get back and everything in your resort is closed, DoorDash, highly recommended. So just something great to keep in mind. And it was super easy and convenient. It was really not hard at all to do, even staying at a Disney resort. So we went back to the room, sat down with the food, and we were like, we could not find a fork anywhere in the room. Something just to let you know that we did try to go through the room with a fine-tooth comb. And even after doing that, Moana themed rooms at the Polynesian take the cake. And what I might say is the best standard room. Standard meaning not a 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom, special suite, nothing like that. The best standard room at Walt Disney World. I might stick to that. I think that I'm going to. So I'm going to say rooms. I'm going to say Polynesian. Then I'm going to say Beach Club, Boardwalk. Yes. But now going back to Marissa's question, resorts overall, the Moana rooms, I don't think would make me put the Polynesian above the Beach Club. I would still say Beach Club is my number 1, Polynesian's my number 2, and a very close number 3 is the Boardwalk. One thing that could have came into play is the situation that happened at Ohana, which we'll talk about in a minute. But yeah, I'm going to stick with Beach Club, Polynesian, Boardwalk for the win. So yes, Lisa, I agree. Poly is very hard to beat. The only way that it can be beat in my book is the Beach Club. And I'm just a little partial to that resort for staying there so many times when I was younger up until now. So that is definitely my number one. Hey, Adriana. Oh, I did not know the cat was live. Oops. Yeah, Craig, it was unbelievable. So great. So, what did I get to eat? So I think your question would be referring to DoorDash, because I think that I saw that come through when I was talking about that. From DoorDash, they were slim pickings at that time at night. We got Miller's Ale House. We were hungry. We were tired. We wanted something that was, just kind of standard, normal food. And we got a few things to split. And I mean, for what it was, it did the job. It was great. All right. So I'll interject my own Polynesian spiel for this topic. So Lisa is asking, will there be trick-or-treating for Halloween? Yes, there will during the Disney after hours Boo Bash parties. Granted, it's not going to be the full Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party, as we all know, but the after hours events will include trick-or-treating for sure. I know Melissa loves Old Key West. I'm going to be staying there in 69 days for the trip that we're taking to celebrate the 50th anniversary. So we are super excited for that. Good question. Have I ever stayed at Art of Animation? No, my wife has, and I've been there a few times, and I love Art of Animation, but I've actually never stayed there. That is one of the few that I still have on my list of places to stay. I think there's 4 Art of Animation All-Stars, if you want to count them as one. Yacht Club. I think that's it. Yeah. All right. So yes, zingers were included. I can confirm that. Okay. So Polynesian was amazing. So great. The cast members, with their incredible energy on the entire day of the reopening, really made it so much more special. I still have to post so many cast compliments that I took throughout the trip. I'm going to do a day, maybe like tomorrow or Friday, where all I do on our stories is just post cast compliments all days, because I was taking so many selfies with so many different people that were just incredible. And there's just so many great things to say about these people. They deserve all the recognition in the world because they just went above and beyond, especially the cast members at the Polynesian. They were just stopping us everywhere, asking how things were going and how our day was and if we got to the room yet and did we love it. It was just like a constant party. It was great. So Lisa has a question. How do you feel about the extra evening magic hours coming soon to Deluxe resorts? Great question. Very, very interesting topic to unravel. So I will say that my initial reaction to hearing about that, this is before I really read too much into what it is. I was kind of like, I don't think that should be happening. But then the more that I read that there are going to also be the morning hours for all resorts, I think that it's actually going to be a good thing, because so many messages that I will get is from people asking if I think the Deluxe resorts are worth the price tag. And I think that this is something that I wouldn't look at as Deluxe resorts are getting more, Deluxe resort guests are just getting more than everyone else. I'm looking at this as, okay, this is now a perk for people that might not have wanted to stay Deluxe or might not have thought that it was worth doing. But this is actually a selling point to help people justify spending the cost of a Deluxe resort. So I would imagine many of the messages that I get might be from some of you guys wanting to convince your husband if they want to splurge and stay at a Deluxe resort, and trying to make sure that both of you guys can be on board. So I think something like this can kind of help make that large price tag for Deluxe resorts not feel like you're paying all of that and you're just getting a better room and maybe a better resort than others, that you're actually getting something a bit more, which I think is actually going to be pretty nice. So we'll see exactly how it goes, but definitely should be interesting. I would love that too, Adriana. Oh, okay. So here's a question. On the fence with 2 poly stays in 2022, but with Danny's ranking, it has to be a go. Yes, trust me. I am all for moving around resorts. I mean, I just did 4 nights and stayed in 3 different resorts. So I am all for moving around. I think that it's a great way to experience different things and kind of spice up every aspect of your trip. But I mean, you really cannot go wrong with the Polynesian. It is so spectacular. There's going to be one caveat potentially to keep in mind that we'll talk about in a bit, but seriously, you cannot go wrong with the Poly. You will not get tired of it. You'll go on your first trip and say, I am so glad that I have that second one coming up. It's going to be awesome. Oh, Marlene has a great question. So, what are some must-dos during Christmas at Disney? Okay, so we heard that and Disney confirmed this, that the gingerbread houses are going to be returning to select deluxe resorts like they would usually have, those great gingerbread displays. But I think the greatest of all of them is at the Grand Floridian, where they have that gingerbread house in the lobby. So I imagine that one would be back too. So I would definitely hop over to the Grand Floridian, do like a little monorail tour and see all the different gingerbread displays at the 3 Magic Kingdom Deluxe resorts on the monorail loop. So I would definitely recommend that. Whenever you're heading, I would really just recommend going to as many deluxe resorts as you can to buy some different items in there, gingerbread themed pop-up stores that will be in the lobby or near the lobby, depending on the resort. So deluxe resorts, 100% yes. Go for as many as you can. Grand Floridian being number 1 with its gingerbread house. I would also say, even though it's not going to be Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party, the after hours, what is it called? Disney's Very Merry Time, something like that. I'm drawing a blank on the name. Shannon, if you're here, you'll be able, or Adriana, either of you guys, if you're here, just let me know what the exact name is because it's going to drive me nuts. But whatever the after hours party is that they're having for Christmas this year, that is definitely something that I would do. Granted, it's not going to be the full Christmas party, but whatever it is, looks like it's going to be amazing. And I want to go so bad. So that's definitely a must do. The Festival of the Holidays at Epcot. Oh my goodness. So great. You have to spend quite a bit of time there. It's just so much fun to eat the different things and see the different Christmas decorations. It is awesome. Also, something free to do over at Disney Springs. The Disney Springs Christmas tree trail or Christmas tree stroll is coming back again this year. That's a great way to just kind of walk around, see the trees, take some pictures. It is amazing. There's also going to be snowfall again this year in Disney Springs in the town center area. So that is going to be something else to definitely go for. It was pretty crowded last year, and we all know what last year was kind of like. So if it was kind of crowded last year on, weekends especially, I would definitely say plan to include that on your trip, maybe on a weeknight instead of a weekend. So that is going to be awesome as well. And then Hollywood Studios has amazing Christmas decorations. I recommend going there at night to see everything lit up. What else is there for Christmas? Oh, the Jingle Cruise. How can I forget the Jingle Cruise? The Christmas themed layover of the Jungle Cruise when it turns into the Jingle Cruise. That is one of my other favorite things to do. And there's so many great snacks. I mean, you can just have cool snacks and festive drinks all over the place. So that's what I know it's a lot, but those are all the things that I love to do. Maureen, let's see. Danny, when you were at the beach club, any word on Hurricane Hannah's opening fully again? So, not that I heard or saw. I mean, I know that it is open, but I know what you mean by open fully because there is like a very limited menu. I think it's closing even earlier than it used to too. So nothing that I heard or saw, but I'm gonna look into that. And if I can find anything or hear anything, Maureen, definitely stay tuned to our stories here on Facebook and Instagram because I will definitely share that info there. If I can find anything, I will check into that for sure. PJ has a great question. Do you recommend renting DVC points? Maybe. It kind of depends. I would recommend maybe. It kind of depends on the deal and the company you might be working with. My initial reaction, just to be safe, I kind of would say no. Honestly, I would prefer to book through an agency directly like Destinations of Travel who can still book a DVC room for you because you don't have to be a DVC member to actually stay at a DVC resort. So I would honestly recommend booking a trip for cash as we call it, just directly for a DVC resort rather than renting DVC points, just because, being completely honest, I have heard too many, I don't want to say horror stories, but too many negative stories of people who have done that and it hasn't turned out well. Maybe a trip had to be moved or canceled and they couldn't get points back, and just things have happened that at various different places you can get them from that, just from what I have personally heard, haven't been great. So for that reason, and hearing the success stories of people that booked through Destinations of Travel at a DVC resort and thought that it was perfect, that is personally what I would do. So again, take that as you would like, but that's just my personal 2 cents on what I would feel more comfortable recommending to you. I would feel less comfortable telling you, yeah, go out and rent the points. I just would feel better myself knowing that I recommended it this way. Okay, so Sarah is asking, when you walked from the beach club to Hollywood Studios, what and where did you go first? We're staying there in December. So where did we go first? Where did I go first? I have no idea. Oh, we actually went, okay. So we went to Baseline Tap House over in the, what do you even call that? Grand Avenue area of Disney's Hollywood Studios. So it's right next to the Sci-Fi Dine-In Theater. Muppets Courtyard is like across the street. It's what you would pass on your way into Galaxy's Edge from that part of the park, kind of by Star Tours too. It's a great spot. As I can see in your profile picture, you have two little ones. So, I mean, even though, yes, it is a place that sells beer, they have great pretzels. They have really cool sodas. It's just like a cool, fun spot to chill. Maybe grab a seat inside of the table and the air conditioning, or outside underneath an umbrella if if it's not too hot. So that's a fun thing to do that I love. So that's honestly what we did when we went there first. But then after that, we went to the Tower of Terror. Then we went into Galaxy's Edge and we spent quite a bit of time in there. We didn't even go on any attractions. We actually went to Oga's Cantina, which again, even if you have two little ones, that is such a fun place to take them. They have really cute mocktails. The music in there is like loud, but like fun loud, but not too loud for kids at all. I see kids in there all the time whenever we go. Just a really cool place. You can get like a cool booth and there's lights on it. So that is awesome. Even if like you're not the biggest Star Wars fan, I still recommend it. So that was great. Went through all of the gift shops in Galaxy's Edge. We wanted to go on Rock and Roller Coaster, although that was down. What else did we do that day? Oh, for your little ones, I mean, 100% Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway would be the top attraction that I would recommend. That is great. Oh, something else that we did, we met up with a bunch of friends, had like the best time that night. And we went on Alien Swirling Saucers. Always has a consistently low wait. And if your kids are Toy Story fans, you can go on multiple times because you can hear different songs each time that you go on. If you go on at night, then all the lights are on. It's like a totally different experience. And it's nothing too crazy, just kind of like a ride that kind of spins you, but not like the teacups. It kind of like will spin a little bit and like whip you around, but like it's fun, but it's tame enough for little ones. I mean, that's really who it's intended for. So that is a great ride to recommend. And then depending on their height, Slinky Dog Dash would be like just insane if they would be tall enough for that. And then, of course, you can see the Disney Junior Pals Cavalcade. There is, what else? That is like the Disney Junior park. If you have kids that are into Disney Junior, that is the place to be. What else would I say for little ones? Eating at Woody's Lunchbox, grilled cheeses. I mean, they have like a cool little alien sipper with a green drink. There's like kind of like Pop-Tarts, but they're like lunchbox tarts and they're really cute colors. They're delicious. So really fun stuff. Muppet Vision 3D too. Don't sleep on that. I love Muppet Vision 3D too myself. So, and then of course there's other thrill rides, but if you're looking for things to do with your kids, I hope that all of those things would help. Oh, Adriana, I am so with you. Ken, good question. Any information on Mears Connect, the transportation replacing the Magical Express? So from what I've heard, it's going to work fairly similar to Magical Express. I would recommend talking to, and this is where I also think that it really helps to be involved with a travel agency when planning your trip, because they can make sure that your itinerary is perfect, because they do this all the time. So I would honestly talk to them about that, just because since it is something that's going to be brand new come the beginning of next year, I would reach out to Destinations of Travel and just kind of ask them what it is that they think you should do. If they think that Mears Connect is going to be good, depending on your certain circumstance and your family, if that's maybe the right option for you, or Uber, Lyft, taxi, whatever they think they would be the best ones to chat with you about that. And if you want, send me a message. I can get you in touch with them directly myself, no problem. Lisa, I am so excited for you. Tag us in some pictures. I would love to see all of that. That is amazing. Oh, and I see Adriana got it. Disney's Very Merriest After Hours. Thank you. That is perfect. Right, Deborah? That Christmas tree trail is unbelievable. They are just fantastic. Oh, great question. Okay. So I'm going to use this opportunity to segue into my Ohana story that I know you guys want to hear about. So, okay, is a reservation required to get into Trader Sam's at all times of the day and night? So, Trader Sam's does not take advanced reservations. So what they previously did was just kind of make you wait outside of Trader Sam's in a line, and they would then call parties in one by one. And it was kind of a pain because you would have to actually stand there waiting in line if you wanted to get in for who knows how long, depending on when exactly you would want to line up. That changed as of opening day on the 19th. And I was so surprised and pleasantly surprised to see that after I was waiting online for maybe an hour, maybe a little bit more than an hour, that a cast member came out, started taking people's names, and the word kind of spread from one person to the next in the line and got to me. And we found out that they were taking names and cell phone numbers, and they were going to send you a text when it was time to go into Trader Sam's. They created a virtual queue, and it was amazing. It worked perfectly. One thing that wasn't perfect about it, this is, I think, just an opening day thing, is that there was so much hype that everyone kind of just like went right by the door and everyone was kind of loud, which made it hard to hear the cast member who was calling out the names. So that was kind of a hectic situation. You might see that on some of the other vlogs. I've even spotted myself in the background of many other vlogs. You watch a lot of YouTubers. You might be able to catch Kara and I sitting in Trader Sam's or online outside Trader Sam's waiting for the names to be called, which is kind of funny. But it was like such a fun, exciting experience. It was awesome. But to go back to the question, no reservations required. I just would recommend getting there. If you definitely want to make sure that you get in, I would recommend getting there well before it opens. Or if you wanted to go like later on at night, you should probably be fine getting there, a decent amount of time in advance. So no reservations required, which is kind of nice, but just make sure that you get in on that virtual queue for sure. All right, so now, hold on, I have to get to this question first. Oh, I did not, Adriana. I said, thank you. This is why you're great. I said Disney Junior is the park to be for this. Didn't even mention Disney Junior Dance Party. So yes, Disney Junior Dance Party is awesome. Yes, and definitely Frozen, the Frozen sing-along. How could I forget that? It is awesome, so much fun, hysterical for the parents, fun for the kids. Love it. Marlene is asking, doing Hollywood Studios and Epcot in December, most convenient resorts. We love the Skyliner option. So that would be basically any Epcot resort area hotel. So that would basically be Beach Club, Boardwalk, Yacht Club, Swan and Dolphin. I personally, if you're doing both for walking purposes, I think the Boardwalk is even better than the Beach Club because yes, Beach Club, you're like practically in the UK pavilion. You're like right there, which is so great, but you're kind of a ways away from Hollywood Studios. I mean, you can still walk it easily, but you're kind of a ways away. Boardwalk, you can be very close to Hollywood Studios. On this trip, we were maybe 10 to 12 minutes away walking distance. But in May, we were like 6 minutes. Our room was like very far back, so we totally lucked out. So Boardwalk, you can be very close to both, just based on like kind of where it's situated. So Beach Club, Boardwalk would be my top two, then Yacht Club, then Swan and Dolphin. Love all of them though. You literally cannot go wrong. Okay, so, Sarah, good question. The question is there a certain time the pool closes at Beach Club? I've heard it's amazing, but since it will be December, I didn't know how times and temperatures would be. So the times are pretty standard. I think it opens at 10 a.m. I forget when exactly it closes, but it's a pretty fine time at night, especially with little ones. You're not going to be, I'm assuming, staying out too crazy late at the pool. So the hours are pretty much fine. And in December, it can get a little chilly, but honestly, if it were me and it was going to be my first time staying there, I would hop into that pool without a problem. So do not let that worry you. It's going to be, maybe a little chilly, but, it'll be fine. Trust me, you'll make it work. Yes, they are still allowing families in. Let me tell you what the time is. I have it on my phone. I took a picture of it when I was there. If I can find my album, where did it go? Aha, there we go. Hold on, I'm scrolling. It should be right around. I have the sign on here somewhere. That's me in front of the Trader Sam's sign. This is like my 200 pictures of the rooms. Here it is. Okay. Guests of all ages welcome before 8 p.m. Only guests 21 years of age and above admitted after 8 p.m. So if you have kids, you can go to Trader Sam's up to 8 p.m. Great question. Me too, Lisa. The virtual queue was so much better. Yes, I did order one of each appetizer at Trader Sam's. It was awesome. Okay, so In case you didn't see, on my story yesterday morning, I posted a picture of me looking puzzled outside of Ohana. We ate there for breakfast, and I love Ohana. Before it closed down because of COVID and all of the phased reopening of everything at Walt Disney World, and as we all know, it only just reopened on, I think, July 9th. So it's very newly reopened. And for dinner, the food is quite different. For breakfast, the food is a little different, but there are no characters. So that's the main difference there. And I've eaten there many, many, many times for dinner. Like I literally couldn't even count. And many times for breakfast. Not as many as dinner, but a lot of times. And it's always been great. I mean, love it. For dinner, my favorite restaurant on property up until it was changed. So we went there yesterday morning for breakfast, and I hate to even speak ill of anything, of any type of restaurant like this, or any type of experience for that matter like this, because even though I might hold the disc for debating Disney and talk about things that can go wrong, I really like to keep things as positive as possible. But this is one thing where it was so bad that I was saying to myself, and Kara and I were talking about it, we were kind of like, what do we do? Because just in speaking with so many of you, I feel I feel like that I have the obligation to be as honest as I can be to help you plan as perfectly as possible. So I right now cannot recommend Ohana for breakfast just because of what happened to me. And after just teasing that something happened and kind of asking you guys if you would even want to hear the story of what happened, the amount of people that said yes, they wanted to hear what happened, and the amount of people that also messaged me separately saying that they were so kind of relieved, or just they thought it was just them, or they couldn't believe it because they had similar experiences. I was blown away. I literally couldn't even believe it. I was like, what is going on with Ohana that myself and so many other people are having these not great experiences? So, sipping the water to get ready for this one. So we had a 9:40 a.m. reservation. We weren't called to sit until 10, which we were thinking nothing of at the time. We were just like, oh, no big deal. 20 minutes, it happens. We checked in on the app at like 9:20, 9:25, because you can do that a little early. So we did that just to get it over with, and then we were kind of sitting around. We walked up there at like 9:30, 9:35. So waiting around for a decent amount of time, but really didn't care. We walk in, and I did think something of it at that point, because we walked in and there were so many open tables. So many. Granted, still didn't care. Nothing wrong had happened. And we were talking to the cast members there. We were having such a great time. So I'm just like, I wonder why, there was such a delay. And we had walked up 5 minutes prior. We were just like taking a couple of pictures, and they were like, oh, you checked in. We were like, no, we're just, taking a couple of pictures here. Well, we're waiting for the text to come through, and they're like, oh, it should be, any minute. And they were all standing there, and we walk in, and there's all these tables open. So I'm just like, okay, like, whatever. We sit down, and no one comes up to us for 20 minutes. And I hate to complain. I never like to confront we didn't even mention any of this to anyone that worked at the restaurant. So we were kind of like, what is going on? We got to like 5 minutes in, and we're like, like, all right. And we saw servers going to other tables nonstop. Like we saw other people with like rapid fire, great service. But we're sitting there and we're like, okay, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Wow, it kind of feels like a while. 15 minutes, what's going on? 20 minutes, now we're like in the territory of, do we get up and say something? And right as we were kind of like on the fence to get up and maybe go like ask if someone can come over, and no one was even walking close to us to like try to say like, hey, can you come over here? And it's a simple restaurant. I mean, it's really just you can order from a drink menu and they bring the food. There's not really much to it. So finally, our server walks over and he was so super nice. He was apologizing left and right, saying he was so sorry and he was going to be right back. With that, a few minutes later, someone brought the bread. You get like a little skillet of bread. Someone brought that. 10 minutes later, our server comes back and says he's so sorry again. And he wanted to take our drink order. And we're like, okay. Takes our drink order. 5-10 minutes later, he finally resurfaces with the coffee and juice. And now we're like, okay, now over 10 minutes, 15-ish minutes later, a different server comes back and he says to us, the table next to us, and then one other table that was like to our right, did you guys get food yet? And we're all like, no. And he's like, oh, okay, I'll be right on that. I'm so sorry. He's like, I'm just trying to help him out. You know, I'm really just going to try to pitch in here. And we're all like, thank you so much. He finally comes back with the plate of fruit. And now it's like we had a 9:40 reservation. We're up to like 45. I mean, whatever, doing the math. We're in there for a while. So we're kind of like, all this time. And like, we just had the thing of bread and the fruit. Like, where is the food? This is like a long time sitting here and you haven't even gotten the food. So finally, another server, not even the one that was helping out, comes back and says, I'm so sorry, I'm here, I'm the help. Like, the help is on the way and it's me. And he's like being great. So he drops off the plate of food, and it was a separate plate from the waffle plate. Drops it off for us and drops off a plate for the table next to us. With that, the actual server, who's been running back and forth, like just apologizing and not doing anything but that, comes back, and then he brings the waffles. This is now like minutes after, like over 5 minutes after the other thing came. Brings the plates of waffles and says to us, you know, is everything good? We're like, yeah. To the table next to us, is everything good? Drops the waffles, and they're like, yeah. And with that, he was talking to the two girls that were sitting there, and one of them like complimented the eggs. And I had heard when she was ordering, she ordered, this is a very important piece to the puzzle. I heard them ordering, one of the two girls that were sitting there ordered the allergy-friendly egg. So it's like the eggless eggs. And they were talking about the food for a second. All I know is I heard, wait a minute, these aren't eggless eggs? And the server looked like he was just dying. So he's like, and he calls over the other server that brought it. And he then says, no, those are real eggs. So now I'm hearing this, and I turn to Kara, and I'm like, someone there meant to get eggless eggs, and they got real eggs, all because this guy couldn't find a way to organize himself, that he needed two other people to come and help him just bring 2 plates of food. So granted, the saving grace of the story is that the girl didn't have an allergy. It was apparently just a preference. So they really got away with one there. But I was just like, what is going on? Then we're eating, sitting there for a while, and he's nowhere to be found. And I'm kind of like, now I want the check. Like, we ate, we went through all of this waiting, and now we're done. Where is this guy? Waiting. He finally says, oh, can I get you anything else? And we're like, no, we'll just take the check. So at the time, I handed him my credit card because I'm like, I just want to try to expedite the process. He comes back with the bill. Here's the kicker. He leaves a little booklet that has the receipt in it and shows me the one to sign, leaves the bill on the table, walks away. I open up the bill. There is no pen in the little booklet. That is just, if that is not indicative of everything that transpired, I don't know what is. I had to then wait for him to come back minutes later for me to just say, can I please have a pen? I was like, Kara had already like walked out to like freshen up in the restroom or whatever, and I was just like, I'm never getting out of here. I thought I was gonna be stuck in Ohana waiting for any server to walk over to me until whenever. So it was such a disaster. We walked out and we were like saying to each other, did that even really happen? Like, it felt like pulling teeth for each little next step to happen. So it was just not great. And I don't know what the reason could be. I saw other servers that didn't look stressed. They looked like everything was fine. They were handling their tables. Other people looked happy. But the zone that I was sitting in was just wild. And I didn't even see like in other sections where like with my section, there were like 3 different waiters that had come in at different points. And the other sections, I didn't see any of that. I just saw each server bringing stuff to their own tables and everything seemed completely fine. And it's not like we were in like a gigantic section. It was, normal. So I don't know what it was. And I didn't even, at that time, we were just so done with it. And we just wanted to get to Epcot. We wanted to just go on with our day that we were just like, we're not even going to say anything now. We're just going to walk out. And everyone was so nice too. It's not like anyone was being rude. So like, I didn't really want to say anything. So we were like, maybe we'll call when we get back just to kind of like be nice and say, just wanting to let you know, you might want to like take a look at that situation because something was going on. So I do not know what was going on. I mean, yeah, Joe, exactly. That could have went so wrong. Like when I picked up on that, I was like, you've got to be kidding me. Like, what good thing it wasn't an actual allergy. I mean, could you imagine? That could have been so bad. So it really could have been just nightmare dining experiences are always made worse when it takes forever for the check to arrive and get processed. It truly feels as though you're being held captive. Thank you, Ben. Thank you. It really does. And then especially when I don't even have the pen to sign. And I always keep 1 or 2 pens in my backpack. Don't you know? It was the one time in forever that I didn't have a pen on me. I was like, what are the odds? Like just the cherry on top that I can't even help myself get out of the situation. Unbelievable. Felicia. So yeah, that's another thing. So I could see Ohana taking much longer, and it has taken much longer when the characters are there because you're sitting around, you're waiting, you're getting up, you're taking your pictures. This should be really quick if you want it to be. If you want to stay and sit there, by all means. But this should be very quick. You sit there, you brought your drinks, a piece of bread, literally one like skillet of bread, 1 plate of fruit, and then 2 plates of food. There's really not much to do. It's just like 1, 2, 3, 4 rounds of things that have to be brought to your table the entire time. Like, it's really not that crazy. It's in terms of restaurants, it's a very simple way to be served. So with all of that, with all of that and then no characters, it's just a very tough sell for breakfast. Dinner is a different story. If you really want those noodles, if you really want those pot stickers, dumplings, whatever you want to call them, if you really want that, different story. I didn't even end up doing that on this trip. I ended up opting to go to Epcot one night instead. But yeah, it was just so crazy. And like I said, there were plenty of other people that I saw that were having a fine time. I almost don't even know what to say. It was just like, I feel bad even saying it, even though like I'm just trying to be honest, but I'll put it this way, to show my recommendation, I will not be going back for breakfast until I've heard from multiple people, from you guys, people that I know, whoever, until I hear from multiple people that they were there for breakfast because they wanted to roll the dice and thought that it sounded great, and they thought that everything went great. Then I will go back for breakfast. But until then, I will maybe do dinner, and I will definitely do breakfast at Kona Cafe or Cape May Cafe. I mean, Trattoria Al Forno, forget about it. Trattoria Al Forno, I would rather go there 10 times out of 10 in comparison to Ohana. There are so many other great places at Deluxe Resorts, great places to go that are also a pretty good value, because right now Ohana, for the food that you get, I think is a pretty good value. Again, we're talking Disney prices, but for Disney, it's actually a great value. But considering that, plus, let me see this comment that Maureen had, not to mention all the time that we lost. We were heading to the park. Exactly. We were thinking a 9:40 a.m. reservation. We can, if we ate kind of quickly, we can make it close enough in time for the 11 o'clock opening of Epcot. And we ended up not even being that close. It was like everything just took forever. So I could not agree more. It was just kind of like a deflating way to start the day, because you're sitting there, you're thinking, all right, here we go. It's going to be a great day. It's our final day when we're going to head home. And then that happens. But the day turned out to be excellent. We had such a great day after all of that craziness transpired. Joe, that's something else. That's another part of the reason why I did want to actually talk to you guys about it and say something, because even though I didn't, it's like totally not my thing, I was like, people actually, I think, could need to know that this is a possibility. Not that it's going to happen to you, not even saying that it's maybe very likely that it could happen to you, but since it happened to me on that severe a level, and I've heard it from so many other people too, like, I felt the need to have to talk to you guys about it and just let you know what was going on. Paul, that is why I ended up not going to Ohana for dinner, because after seeing when you guys were there, and Paul let me know, literally from someone who was there, there was no more peanut sauce, which was literally my favorite part of the dinner. That just was the final straw. And I was like, I'm not even going to do it. We're going to be there for breakfast. We'll get, great ambiance. It'll be fun. And then this happened. So, Sean, that is what I knock on wood, was lucky enough to be fine in the service department with Ohana up until this time. But I am quickly learning from so many other messages that it's been like this from even before COVID. So very interesting. So that is my story. Shannon, yes, Cape May Cafe, totally. I love it. Yeah, and Mary Catherine, me too. The last time that I was there for a character breakfast, it was great. We had the best time. It was so, so awesome. I know. Yeah. They got rid of the peanut sauce. And I asked, I asked the cast member that was bringing us to our table if he knows of any plans of what's going on with the peanut sauce. And he was like, we're constantly changing. We're, talking about new things all the time. There's no concrete plans right now, but who knows? Every day things seem to change, blah, blah, blah. So I'm hoping it's going to come back. But as of right now, no peanut sauce. And I am so bummed about that. Stephanie, that is a great point. I was thinking of that too. I was thinking of the allergy sticks. Granted, I wasn't peeking at what they were eating, but I did think of that too. I was like, oh, I wonder, if they knew about the allergy stick thing, because I've just seen pictures of others that got the allergy-friendly plates at Ohana, and I did see those sticks in it. So that was another thought that crossed my mind. But you're also helping me prove that, you know, everything can be fine. I saw a couple other people that were there over the weekend and said that everything was great. So it, you know, it really can just go either way. Liz, yes, I will give you the short version. Basically, everything took forever. It took forever for our server to get to our table, 20 plus minutes in between each thing that came to the table took forever. All our server did was apologize, and 2 other servers had to bring all the food. And then the table next to us, one person was supposed to get the allergy-friendly eggs, and she didn't. And granted, she didn't have an allergy; it was a preference. And then when my bill came, there was no pen in the bill for me to sign it, and I felt like I was being held captive. So that would be the short version of what went down. So yeah, it was something else. Sean, great question. Great question. I have thought of that too. I loved the lunch option at Be Our Guest. I thought that was awesome. And for what it was, definitely doable. But now, like you're saying, a full $60 meal is a much tougher sell. Ooh, Marissa, great point. Tusker House, another great option. So let me see. Mary Catherine, awesome. See, you're going to get, if I had noodles and dumplings, I mean, that can offset some bad service. So, but no, seriously, odds are you will be fine. And dinner to me is so much more special than breakfast anyway. It's like a totally different vibe. It's going to be awesome. Marlene, excellent synopsis. Nicely done. I am very impressed. You did it better than I did. So yes, Marlene, also Tusker House has been great whenever I've been there. I love it. So that does it for the Poly. This has already been an hour. I don't even, we would have to make this a 2-parter. Let me see. Was there anything else? While I'm scrolling through, seeing if I have anything else that I need to tell you guys, let me know if you have any other questions before we start to, oh, Sean, thank you. Topolino. How did I forget? At the Riviera. Unbelievable. I still haven't been, and I really want to go, but everything that I've heard, everything that I've seen looks fantastic. Great call. So what else was great? Let me just try to think. Trader Sam's was great. What else did we have? Just being around the resorts and walking around there and doing all of that stuff was great. Talking to you guys throughout the trip was great. It was just such a fun time to celebrate Kara's birthday. We seriously loved it. So, oh, I know what else I want to tell you guys about. So I recorded some fun videos of other food reviews. One of them includes me almost falling off of a chair while I was trying to like position myself in front of the camera while eating snacks with Kara in Hollywood Studios. So we're going to leave that blooper into that video. We made a La Cava del Tequila video, and you guys will hear it first. We're going to caption the video something to the effect of, we ate crickets from La Cava del Tequila. Yes, it was not my idea. It was Kara's. I felt peer pressured and went along. So that is going to be hopefully an entertaining video. But yes, they have crickets and we tried them. And I am not even going to explain what they were like because I think you can assume just what they were like, and then you'll see in a video coming soon on that. But it was busy. It was very busy, and it was very hot. I mean, what do you got going to Walt Disney World in July? Obviously. But it was super hot. We managed to do fine. We stayed very hydrated. We tried to spend as much time indoors as possible, but definitely hot. Like, I haven't done the fans and cooling towels before, but looking back, I might have tried one of them on this trip. It was like that hot. So, yes, Adriana, crickets, wait until you see this video. So they were separate from the tequila. So you get like a little cup of like chopped up crickets. I think they take the legs off, but not like the wings, because Kara says she saw like a wing on one, which was like super gross. So yeah, very, very disgusting. So what else? Also, if you happen to, like I said before, I'm just thinking about Trader Sam's again. If you're watching other vlogs like I have been, and you happen to spot me, let me know, because I'm getting such a kick out of a few people that have sent me screenshots of spotting me in the backgrounds of videos and stuff. It's been quite humorous. There were so many people in there that were filming and recording. I didn't make a video of everything. I just took pictures of things and videos of smaller things. But others who were vlogging, like some of the videos that have been out, I've already spotted myself in quite a few. So that's been fun. So I think we'll have to do another one to talk about the festival, because there is like so much content there when it comes to the festival. Oh, one other thing you might have seen, and I'll end it on this. You might have seen the mention in my story about Oga's Cantina. So we got right in. I couldn't believe it. Kara walked right up to a cast member that was standing right outside Oga's with an iPad. We didn't have a reservation, and we were just over there. And I was like, should we ask and see if like they're going to take any walk-ins today? Because it can happen sometimes. And after our last time there, we were asking the cast member about like what times of the day might be best for walk-ins. Just always trying to ask those questions so I can then tell you guys whenever you might ask me. So Kara walked up, asked the cast member, hey, we're a party of two. By any chance, is there a way that you're like taking walk-ins? Can we put a name in? If not, no problem. But while we're here, we figured can't hurt to ask. And she responded, oh yeah, we'll get you in 15 minutes or less, no problem. We were like, what? So it was insane. And the thing to learn here, which I mean, is that it never can hurt to ask. It's always a good idea to throw it out there, ask the question, and see what they might have to say. So, worked for us. It was great. Sean, not yet. I cannot wait for that to come back. I am a huge fan of Club Cool. And based on what Imagineer Zach Ridley has been sharing on Instagram, if you guys haven't seen it yet, it looks so cool. Just the tile they're using on the floor alone, I'm like so super excited. So, one other thing that I actually will sign off this time for real. This sign says 69 more days until my next Walt Disney World visit. There might be some other type of trip coming up sooner than that I'm going to be going on and taking you guys along with me. I am so stoked for this. It just so happened to work out. I was going to be out west for something. Oh, I just gave it away. What is wrong with me? I was going to be somewhere for something, and it worked out that we were able to add on a couple of days at a very special place. So stay tuned for that announcement soon, because I haven't been to this place in a little while, and I'm so excited to be there and talk to you guys all about it. So that trip announcement is going to be coming soon. Any other questions about my past trip, just let me know. I'm going to get back to responding to as many of your questions as I can. So until next time, always remember, adventure is out there. Thank you all for watching. You guys are the best. Have a great night.